We are now just days away from opening day, and with that will, of course, come the first start of the season for Gerrit Cole, and there is pressure on him to have a great year. I'm not sure there's ever been a more controversial 16-8, 3.23 ERA, top 2 in Cy Young season than Cole's 2021. He was dominant, but between the crackdown on Spider Tack and his clunker in Boston in the wildcard game, it almost feels like he's got something to prove. Now, not that he has to by any means, but it's just the vibe that I get personally. I think he's pissed at the narrative surrounding him that without Spider Tack, he isn't an elite pitcher. And I don't blame Cole at all for feeling that way. He was still pitching like an ace without sticky stuff until he hurt his hamstring on September 7th. That was the day he had to pull himself out of the game against the Blue Jays in the 4th inning. He came back, made 4 more regular season starts, and had an ERA over 6 in those games. But before the injury, post-MLB's crackdown, which began roughly June 13th, Cole was 7-3 with a 3.18 ERA and a K per 9 over 12. He absolutely was still an ace, and yeah, he shit the bed in the wildcard game, but it's pretty obvious looking back that was the result of the hamstring. With all that said, he's healthy, ready to go for 2022, so I'm expecting the Gerrit Cole that, until September 7th, was the most dominant pitcher the American League had to offer. Luis Severino is finally healthy and ready to be the 1A to Gerrit Cole. Now, that's the best case scenario, but in regards to how he'll perform, I can only expect what I've seen, and that is that a healthy Severino is on the level of Cole and the other elite starters in the game. Let me remind you that from 2017 to 2018, he was 33-14 with a 3.18 ERA over 63 starts, striking out 230 and 220 batters in each season, respectively. Dude was an absolute animal. And not only that, but Severino is electric. He's just an insanely fun watch, easily the most animated player on the team. When he makes a big pitch, you know it, which is awesome. Now, I'm assuming there will probably be some rust, so maybe he gets off to a slow start, which is fine, but once he finds it, the Yankees could have the best 1-2 punch in the American League. For the number 3 starter, the Yankees will be rolling out Jordan Montgomery, one of the most underrated starters in baseball, to be honest. Now, his numbers on the surface are really solid. He made 30 starts for the first time in his career in 2021 and posted a very respectable 3.83 ERA with a top 10 in the AL WAR at 3.3. He was very consistent and really was a rock for the Yankees over a long stretch last year. From May 21st to September 26th, Monty made 21 starts to the tune of a 3.03 ERA, striking out 118 batters over 113 innings. His overall ERA was inflated due to a couple clunkers, which even the best pitchers will have, but when talking in terms of a start-to-start basis, Monty is better than a 3.8 ERA, which by no means is bad anyways. I do see the Yankees acquiring a starting pitcher by the deadline, and if that's someone like Frankie Montas from the Oakland A's, that would then slide Monty back to being the number 4. But for now, Jordan Montgomery is the Yankees' number 3, and that is certainly not a bad thing. Next, we have Jameson Taillon, and in order to discuss him properly, we gotta ignore the first half of 2021 and talk about him from July on, because he was a totally different pitcher. Of course, for those who don't know, this was Taillon's first season back from a second Tommy John surgery. With brand new mechanics, he basically had to reinvent himself to prevent another injury from happening. Fortunately, by July, he was adjusted. Over his final 14 starts of the season, he went 5-2 with a 3.25 ERA, and his season also finished on a very strong note. After being sidelined with an ankle injury, Taillon returned and threw 3 1/3 shutout innings in a game that was eventually won 1-0 to get the Yankees into the playoffs. He's now healthy and set to take the ball for the series opener against the Blue Jays. This is also a contract year for him, so I'm expecting a really nice season. Alright guys, brief interruption real quick. We are welcoming in an awesome new sponsor here at Yankees Avenue, which is the Topps Bunt 22 app. Now you guys know I only ever do sponsors for products I actually use, and what they got going on here, it's been a hobby of mine for almost a year now. We're talking, the Topps Bunt 22 app, and you can collect this Yankees starting lineup and more in Topps Bunt, the official digital trading card app of Major League Baseball. Topps Bunt is back for the 2022 season, where you can collect and trade your favorite players from across the league with baseball fans around the world. New packs available every day, featuring brand new content, original artwork, and classic Topps cards designs. Complete sets to earn awards and combine common cards into rarer ones. Bring your card collection to life by setting lineups using your cards in real-time scoring fantasy contests. You can download Topps Bunt for free in the App Store or Google Play Store by tapping the link in the description below. And also, don't forget to follow me on there. Yankees Avenue is the name, easy to remember. Follow me on there. That way, we can send trades to each other. Really, it's just a whole nother way for us to interact. I'm going to be on there all season long, so go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, download Topps Bunt 22, and follow Yankees Avenue on there. Hit me up. And yeah, let's get back to the video, guys. Thank you so much to Topps for sponsoring this one. Finishing up with the Yankees' 5th starter, that is Nestor Cortes. After spending 2020 with the Mariners, Nestor returned to the Yankees in 2021 and had a breakout season. He began in a long relief role, but by July, he had become a core member of the starting staff. Cortes started 14 games and had a 3.07 ERA over 73 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 61 hits and struck out 75. Dude was an absolute lock to give you a good outing. Now, of course, that is not exactly a huge sample size, so it's tough to predict what he'll do this year, but hey, if spring training means anything, which it doesn't, Nestor has looked just as good, if not better, than he did last summer. And hey, if he struggles and needs to be moved back to the bullpen or something, the Yankees do have plenty of options for a fifth starter in Luis Gil, Clark Schmidt, David Garcia, and a couple others. So the fifth spot in the Yankee rotation will, no matter what, be a fun watch this year.